Good morning. It's a beautiful morning out here in San Diego. Listen, I got this message, and I don't know if the light's going to get me right. I hope it does. I got this message for leaders. This post is going to be for leaders, and it's not going to be very long at all. Yesterday, I was down here at the San Diego Bay, and I came back, just so you know, I came back to the bay so you can see where these boats are. When I came here yesterday, I was wondering, why are all these boats down here? And I found out that the boat show is here in San Diego from June the 15th to June the 18th. And I was talking about carrying on from Monday when we talked about, Tuesday when we talked about the community. And then we talked about the bus, and we talked about the water and all those things. Yesterday I came down here to the water, and I was talking about the boats in the bay, and I was giving a couple of different examples, a couple of different perspectives of the things that I saw connected to the water. And something hit me, leadership principle that I wanted to share with leaders only. So if you're not a leader, this isn't for you. If you call yourself a leader and you disagree with what I'm about to say, then you can hang it up because you're not a leader. I want you to take one moment real quick, and I want you to look at what I see. I want you to see the dock, and then I want you to see the boats. I want you to see the boats. There's a whole gang of them out there. Oh my God. They are loaded because they're here for the boat show here in San Diego. And that's the reason why they're here. I wanted you to see all the boats that are out here. And then I want to share a principle with you. Here's the principle. The principle is that you are not a boat. If you're a leader, you're not even the bay. You're the water. You're the water. You are the water. And sometimes the wind blows the water, and sometimes it's choppy, and sometimes it's peaceful. But you are the water. And here's the problem with being the water. The problem with being the water is this. As the water, you hold everybody up. If you hold everybody else up, then you're a leader. If you are quick to drop everybody whenever the mood suits you, then you are not a leader. I don't care if you're a pastor and you're willing to drop people, then you are a pastor and not a shepherd, because a shepherd will leave the 99 and go and get the one. So if you're going to be a leader, here goes a leadership principle for you. Because you hold up everybody, you cannot then throw people away. Could you imagine if at some point the water decided it no longer wanted to hold up the boats? Can you imagine? Can the water just say whenever it feels like it, I no longer want to hold up these boats. I no longer, man, I feel the grace and the anointing to speak this today. Have you ever seen the water take a boat and throw it out of the bay? No, you've never seen it. You know why? Because the boats need the water. And sometimes the boats come into the bay so that they can rest. The boats come into the bay so that they can be still. And what happens a lot of times as leaders, we get tired of running in the boats. We get tired of running in the boats that are stagnant, boats that aren't moving, boats that are moving too slow, boats that are broken down. Because just because you're looking at these boats does not mean that we know the story. We don't know the story of this boat right here. We don't know the story of the little canoe boats that are over there on the corner. We don't know the story of the big cruise ship in the distance. We don't know the stories of these boats. And if you're going to be a leader, then you cannot be so quick to just cast the boats aside. You can't do that. Not if you're going to call yourself a leader. I understand that we're going into the summer months, but I've been hearing a lot of people talking about spring cleaning, kicking some people out. And if you're going to be a leader, you have to have more strength than that to just throw somebody off for a first offense or a second offense. If you are the water, then it is your job to hold up the boats. It is your job to be strength for those who are weak. It is your job to be energy for those who are tired. And you do not have the option of just dropping whomever you feel like it just because. See, a lot of people think that they can drop people because they're the leader, or because they're the teacher, or because they're the mentor. But because God gave you this assignment, everybody who comes to you is an assignment. And because they're an assignment, you cannot just cast them off. Here's my question again, ladies and gentlemen. What would the boats do if the water decided it no longer wanted them? And there's a lot of people who have been hurt by people representing God. Notice I didn't say church people. You were not hurt by the church. You were hurt by people who misrepresented God, but you were not hurt by the church. If your teacher turned their back on you, whether you're in church or business or education, then they were never supposed to be that for you anyway. Or maybe it was that you were holding on too tight and something had to happen to break you free from that demonic stronghold of control. Oh well. But if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be the water, then you have to be okay with holding up the boats. You have to be okay with holding up the boats when they're anchored to a stronghold, when they're anchored to something and they can't move. You have to be willing. Jesus, bless your great name. You have to be willing to hold them up and be strong for them when they're broke down, when they're busted and they're disgusted. Don't tell me you're a leader and you can't hold up your own followers. See, one of the problems is that leaders just expect followers to follow as they keep on moving. But there comes a time every now and again when the leader has to turn his or her face to those who follow and say, how can I help you? How can I serve you? Leaders do not lose their ability for service just because they become the leader. As a matter of fact, if you're going to lead, then you're going to have to take on another level of service. If you're going to lead, you have to take on another level of serving. Serving is the highest form of leadership. I'm going to say it one more time. Serving is the highest form of leadership. And Jesus himself in the Holy Scripture says, let him who would be great among you first be your servant. And so when you're going through life and you're going through hard places as a leader, just realize your boat still needs you. I'm going to show it to you one more time. You are the water. And in the lives of the boats of the people who are boats in your life, they need you. You cannot abandon them. You cannot walk away from them. If you're the water that holds them up, if you go down, they go down. And if you quit, it's on you. Big boats, the military cruiser boats, the cruise ships, the regular boats, the little canoe boats, little power boats. All these boats, regardless of how strong they are, all of these boats need the water. All of them. They all need the water. They all need the water. The leader in my life, I watch him all the time. He deals with all types of ships in his arena. And he has to navigate all of us. If you're going to be a leader, then stop acting like boats don't matter depending on their size. Stop acting like boats don't matter depending on how pretty they are. It is your responsibility. It is our responsibility to be the water that these ships can rest in and rest on. And if we can't do that, then do everybody a favor and stop calling yourself a leader. Let's not waste time. Let's not waste time saying that we're a leader. We're a leader just because we have people that are following us. See, because if you can't carry or if you can't lead the people that are following you, then y'all are a bunch of fools taking a walk. And you have to understand this. A thirsty person is going to go for wherever the water is, for wherever they see water. Now, I'm going to drop this last one and I'm going to leave it alone. This is not healthy water to drink. But if you're thirsty enough, you'll drink it. See how dirty that water is? I don't know if you can see how dirty it is, but they'll drink it if you offer it to them and they're thirsty enough. And if you're not man or woman enough to lead them to pastures and still quiet waters, then you are going to give them water that looks like this. You are not a leader. Y'all are a bunch of fools just taking a walk. And I don't blame them because they were just thirsty. I blame you because you said you had water. I blame you because you said you had something to drink. And for those of you who are real leaders out there, stop allowing people to drink this dirty water. Offer them filtered water. Offer them purified water. Offer them something that they can drink that can go down in their system and be beneficial to them. Goodness. And I'll say this. I'm looking at. I didn't mention his name. I just said my leader. My leader is on here. Michael Page. He's my leader, and he's my pastor, my mentor, my leader, my counselor, my psychologist. He's all those things. And he just said that's because to some they don't matter. Man, when we were talking about leaders, and listen, a leader who doesn't care is not a leader. A leader who does not care is a cashier. There's somebody who will just take your money, your time, and your attention and offer you something that will not last. And before I get on my soapbox, I'm going to stop there. So leaders, be the boat. Leaders, be the water that the boats can rest on and rest in. Leaders, be the safe place. Be the safe place that people who are going to follow you need. This is a community of boats. This is a community of boats out here. And all of them have one thing in common. Regardless of how pretty or how big or how small they are, they all need the water. They all need the water to operate in their purpose. They all need water to fulfill their objectives. So be the water. Be the water that the ships can come in. Be the water that ships can trust. All right? So that's my leadership scream for the day. If you got something out of this, I want you to share this with as many people as you can. And because I'm sick and tired of people who believe that they are called to be leaders and they haven't gone through the process of love. Because leadership includes the process of love. Man, I could go another 20 minutes on that, because I'm tired of people who are trying to lead and they don't have love. How can you lead people you don't care about? Man, we are talking about true leadership. True leadership. And what is going on is there is not true leadership because people don't love. They don't really care. Like my pastor said, if people don't matter to you, then stop calling yourself a leader. Stop calling yourself a pastor. Please stop calling yourself a bishop. How you gonna be a bishop over churches and you don't care? Okay. Woo. How you gonna be an entrepreneur with people up under you and you don't care? Okay, now I'm really gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Listen, if you are going to be a leader, it's time to face the facts. The people who are coming to you, they are trusting you. They are hoping that you're not the bastard that they just left, that you're not the sorry leader that they just left. They're coming to you hoping that you are different from the norm, that you are different from the status quo, because leadership is a level of exceptionalism. Woo! Leadership is the level of exceptionalism. It means that you have to be above the rest, because you care about them. You want people to see their best selves, be their best selves all the time. And if you can't pull people to their best life, if you can't motivate the motionless, if you can't resurrect those who resist excellence all the time, if you can't bring about change in the lives of those who really want to change, then put your titles down. Don't disqualify yourself by being a sorry leader. Whew. Goodness. Leaders, I need us to be better. We need to be better. We're trying to tell everybody to go after their purpose and go after their destiny, and we won't even show them how. We won't even give them a blueprint on how to do it. We won't create the mindset on how they need to do it. Well, my name is Adam Watson, and I'm that dude. I am the coach for your success. I'm the guru for your greatness. I told you, I know how to motivate the motionless. That's what I do. I know how to life you from one level to the next. And leaders, if you're out there and you don't have that thought process that you are willing to go down in the dirt to pull somebody up out of the mud, clean them up so they can help somebody else, put your title down. You don't deserve the title of leader. That title of leader is a phenomenal title. It's a title of honor. Leadership is a title, is a dimension of honor, because you say, I've gone through the process and I am willing and able to lead people and be transparent. And if you're not willing to lead people and be transparent, then you're not a leader. Leaders are exceptional. And that's all I'm going to say. That's my thing for the day. I had something so great I was going to share with you. I'll come back on and I'll share about being. No, you know what? I'll give this to you right now. It's real quick and fast and in a hurry. A couple of weeks ago, my daughter got sick. My youngest daughter, Kyle, got sick, and I had to take her to the emergency room. We were at the emergency room for about 2.5 hours, and we finally got out of there, and we were walking across. We were at Rady's Children's Center, and my daughter asked me, she said, Daddy, she said, what's this hospital? And I was like, well, this is the other part of the hospital. She said, who's in there? And I said, other sick kids. And when I said it, I realized, listen, that my life could be completely different. My daughter could have been in one of those hospitals rooms And I could have been the parent not knowing whether she was ever going to get out of there or not. So here goes my thing. Be grateful. You don't know what people are going through. Appreciate people around you. You don't know when life could change your present circumstances. So be grateful. I love you. Every leader, I congratulate you. Every true leader, I thank you for laying down your life, putting your ego aside and our negative thoughts in order to help those who really need it. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later. Deuces.